Welcome to my tutorial. Today I'm going to teach a custom for grid view. First of all, we go to look for the grid view and drag into the layout. So here is the available widget you can use, like image view, web view, video view, calendar view, progress bar, sync bar, search view, texture view. But we are looking for grid view. The grid view is under the legacy section. And we drag the grid view inside to the layout design. So now it's under the constraint layout. We need to set the mesh parent. We put the ID called grid. Set for the each of the corner. Then we go to the code site XML. Under the constraint layout, we can see we have one called grid view. Set the ID for it. We define the number of the column, 2. So the column width, 20 dp. We change to the number column to 3. So we can see 3 column now. And we put the script move to column width. Now we need to define the ID. So the ID is called grid. Okay, the XML is done. So we go to the class activity. You need to define the grid view. We also need to find view by ID to look for the XML grid view ID called grid. Before that, we need to create another object. It's called item, and later we need to pass all the object item to the array list so that we can populate dynamically. So we create another object class called item. We need to define the item object. So we will put the bitmap and another called title. The bitmap is we name it as image and the title is a string. We need to set the image and the title under the item object. So when we create an object list, we can pass these two values and bind to the adapter so we can populate dynamically. We also need to set up the get image and also the set image. For the title, we need the get title and also the set title for us to later to retrieve up the item object. We are using these two values for the item object. You can add more if you want. So for this example, we are using one bitmap and another title string. Okay, we are done for the item object. So now we go back. We need to create a array list. The array is an item object. So we need to put all the sample data into this array list item. First of all, we create a bitmap. We're using the sample data, the logo of the Android Studio for the sample image. Need to decode the resources where we get from the server. We will change to the IC launcher later. So we put the item object inside to the array list. We have to add the sample data. And we put the title for home, also the sample data. So we duplicate it to create more data. But we're using a different title for it so that we can see a different letter for the result. This is just an example. You can make your own changes later. After we have done all this, the array now we have 6 items on it. So we need to create another for the custom adapter. So now we create another new class called Custom Gridview Adapter. So we have to extend the array list item. I'll call it adapter item object. So later we will pass this item object to this custom Gridview adapter. So we create necessary param, and we will also create another list, the grid list for it to customize the image view and also the text view. So we have to pass all these parameter later on. The context, the layout, custom layout, and also the array list item object. We have to pass to this custom grid view adapter in order to populate dynamically. After this, we need to create another for the get view to get the ID from the XML, the custom XML, image view, and also the title. We also can right click to generate to get the overreader method available, or this you can use under the array adapter. In my case, I just use the get view method. So you automatically created. I need to pass the view to create a new view called row and create another called static holder for the class for the two items, image view and also the text view. Text view is the title, image view is the image display. The bitmap later we will pass in inside the item object. So now we create another layout for the grid. Called grid list. So I need to create one image view and also text view. You can just drag and drop, or you also can modify inside the XML. For my case, I will just go inside to the XML to modify to create the image view and also for the text view. Change the constraint layout to the layer layout because I only have two items, image view and also the text view. Set the width and the height. Put the ID on it, call IV, and another text view called TV. Set the orientation to vertical. Okay, so now we can get the ID from the grid list XML and populate later. We will pass in the item object, the bitmap, and also the title. So we set if the row is now, so we need to bind the layout. Else you can use better existing based on the get tag method. We need to convert the contact to activity. We need to set this row to the inflector for the layout. Now we create a new folder. We put the ID to this folder to be available later to use for the sector text and also the bitmap. The set text method is the holder. So if the row is not done now, we will just use the get the text. So now we can get the value from the item and populate inside to the text view and also the image view. Set the text for it. Get title item dot get title. For the image view, we can use the set bitmap, image bitmap. So we pass in the bitmap. So we need to return to the row. Okay, now the grid view data is done. We go back, set this grid view, set adapter on it, and pass the item inside to the custom grid view adapter class. We have to declare the new custom grid view adapter first and pass the value. And then we set adapter on it based on the grid view. So we can change this layout because we already passed it. We can use the layout resource ID. Okay, now we run and test on it. We have a build first. So now the grader is building. I'm using YSO for this testing purpose to display my real phone. So now we will have two rows. Each row have three columns. We have 6 items here. We should we populate all this. So we change the IC launcher and we build and we see the result. Okay, now is the result. 6 item here. Each item have a title on it. If you want to center to the gravity, we can change inside the quick list. We can just put gravity, go to center, horizontal. So now all the item will be center horizontal. Run and see again. Yeah, that's the output. Thank you for watching.